All right, Liz, good luck. First question for you. In 2010, UKIP MEP Nigel Farage was fined for a rant at the President of the European Council, Herman Van Rompuy, which included telling him he had the charisma of what? A damp rag, a leaky pipe, or a wet weekend?
Unfortunately, I'm not too sure on this one. It's going to have to be a stab in the dark. I think I'll go for A, damp rag, Dermot.
Charisma of a damp rag, and that's just what Nigel Farage went for, which cost him the money. It's the right answer. It's edging you closer to the money. Daphne, in the 1981 cabinet reshuffle, Margaret Thatcher appointed Norman Tebbit as Secretary of State for what? Defence, culture, or employment?
Can't remember. I don't think he was ever defence. What, employment?
Yeah, employment, yes, of course. It's from there that the on your bike statement came,
right,
when he
yes.
talked about his father looking for work, getting on his bike. So, second question each. Liz, which Tory leader attempted to assert his authority by telling his parliamentary colleagues via a press conference, "My message is simple and stark, unite or die"? Was that John Major, William Hague, or Ian Duncan Smith?
Ooh, it's quite a statement. I can't imagine John Major making a statement like that. Or William Hague. So I think I'll plumb for Ian Duncan Smith.
All right, Ian Duncan Smith. It's the right answer. Liz, I don't know what you like at food and drink, but pretty fine at politics too. 2 out of 2. Daphne, who was Chancellor of Germany at the start of the Iraq War in 2003? Helmut Schmidt, Gerhard Schröder, or Angela Merkel?
Oh, Lordy. Gerhard Schröder?
Gerhard Schröder is correct. Well, a couple of fine quizzes here. Liz, keep it up and see if we can make it even more painful for Daphne with her third one. Your question. In the House of Commons, how many grand committees are there? 3, 5, or 7?
Grand committees. This is going to be a complete guess. I think I'll take a leaf out of Daphne's book and go straight down the middle, and I'll go for 5.
Straight down the middle here. I'm just having a look. Has she gone straight? Well, she went to the other side with Norman Tebbit. Straight down the middle last time, but it's not the right answer. Oh. No. Of the other 2, Daphne, 3 or 7?
3.
3. That's a guess, wasn't it?
Yes.
But that's how you would have guessed. Okay, it's 3, which means Daphne can win the round if she gives me a correct answer here. Daphne, published in 2004, An Honourable Deception is the title of which politician's account of their time in the new Labour government? Claire Short, Robin Cook, or David Blunkett?
I think we're going to sudden death. I'm trying... Robin Cook.
Robin Cook for An Honourable Deception, and it's Claire Short.
Oh, blast.
Claire Short. OK, well, we are going to sudden death. How perceptive of you, Daphne.
When I don't know it, I don't know it.
OK, well, you didn't know that. And, Liz, it's sudden death. Just to underline it for you, we're now removing the choices you've been working really well with so far, by and large. And it's a lot harder, so just got to hear an answer from you. Here's your question. Who replaced Mo Mowlam as Secretary of State for Northern Ireland in 1999?
I'm not really too sure, so it's a stab in the dark again. I'll go for Bertie Ahern.
OK, Bertie Ahern. No, it's not Bertie Ahern, who was Prime Minister of the Republic of Ireland. Do you know, Daphne?
Was it Peter Mandelson?
Yeah, Peter Mandelson replaced Mo Mowlam. So another chance for Daphne. In the early 1950s, Mohammad Mossadegh was Prime Minister of which country?
Iran.
Is the right answer, Daphne. Surer ground there. just into the final round. Bad luck, Liz, as I say. You know, if that's a sign of one of your weaker subjects, heaven help anybody who tries to take you on food and drink. Would you both please come back and join your teams? So this is what we've been playing towards. It's time for the final round, which as always is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So Liz and Paul from the Lifelines and CJ and Chris from the Eggheads, would you leave the studio, please? So Alan, Adrian and Brian, you're playing to win the Lifelines £6,000. Daphne, Barry and Pat, you're playing for something which money can't buy. The Egghead's reputation. As usual, I'll ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge and you are allowed to confer. So, Alan, Adrian and Brian, the question is, are your 3 brains better than the Egghead's 3? And Lifelines, do you want to go first or second?
First, please.
Yeah. First, please, do one.
OK, best of luck, Lifelines. First question. What term originated in the 17th century as a name for a wealthy or fashionable man of dissolute habits? Rake, fork or hoe? What term originated in the 17th century as a name for a wealthy or fashionable man of dissolute habits?
It's definitely a rake.
Yeah,
the other 2 are just implements. Step, right?
Yes,
a rake.
A rake. Barry?
I'm not a rake.
See if it's the right
It's
answer.
correct, yes.
Rakes, progress and rake there, identified out of those garden implements from the Lifelines. OK, first question, Eggheads. What was the name of the BBC 2 programme launched in 1969 that did much to popularise the game of snooker? Break Off, Cue Action or Pot Black?
I think we all watched this and thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was Pot Black. And for those of you who haven't got colour TVs, the red is behind the pink.
Yeah, for those of you watching in black and white. Pot Black is the right answer, yes. Both have a tick. Lifelines. Who directed the 1960 classic western, The Magnificent Seven? Was it John Sturges, John Ford or John Huston?
Not my strong point. Well, John Ford was active then, wasn't he? I don't know who John Sturges is, so... Maybe John Huston.
Houston, yeah.
John Ford is John Wayne films, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that around the time of John Huston, or was John Huston a bit after the 60s?
I think it's around about that time.
What's about that time? Magnificent.
I really don't know.
Go with the luck, John Huston.
We've seen
Same name as our boss.
Houston?
Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah, go on then, we'll go with that.
Well, we're not sure, Dermot, really. We eliminated John Ford, probably wrongfully, but we'll go for John Huston.
John Huston for the Magnificent Seven. Well, Magnificent 3 over there. Is it John Huston?
John Sturges.
John Sturges directed the Magnificent Seven. OK, well, the Eggheads have an opportunity to take the lead. Eggheads, scotophobia is a fear of what? Silence, darkness or paralysis?
It's darkness. If you've got scotopic vision,
That's night vision.
Yeah.
Well, scotopic vision is another word for night vision, so scotophobia must be a fear of darkness.
Very good, Eggheads. It's the right answer. Yes, scotophobia is a fear of darkness. Well, you must get this then, Lifelines. Wallis and Futuna, comprising the Wallis Islands and the Horn Islands, is a Pacific overseas territory of which country? France, Spain or Portugal?
Doesn't sound French, does it?
Doesn't sound French at all.
Fortuna sounds a little bit Spanish, if anything, doesn't it?
Portuguese, maybe.
Yeah.
Little Spain.
I'm tempted to go more Portuguese than I am Spain,
I
to be
know
honest.
Portugal. Should we go for Portugal?
I think so.
Happy?
Run it.
Definitely
I wish
not
Fonseca,
France.
no.
Again, we don't know, Dermot. But we're going to have a go at Portugal, please.
Portugal. The Eggheads could have this. Portugal, is it, Eggheads?
It's France.
It is France, which means, Eggheads, you've won. Just on that question, Eggheads, tell me why, as the lads were saying there, it doesn't sound French, neither Wallis and Futuna.
The French have a large number of possessions down there.
Yeah, we talked about it before,
don't.
haven't we, and how they treat them. They're integrated into the domestic political system, aren't they? But there we are, Wallis and Futuna. The French territory there, not identified by the Lifelines. But listen, thank you very much indeed for playing. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves, seeing the Eggheads in action. Well, we've enjoyed